All right, we're back. We had a charter glitch. Not a jury glitch, but a charter glitch. All right, now we're getting back here. I'm sorry for the delay for 5 minutes. Give you a 5-minute break to go to the bathroom, tease your hair, brush your teeth, whatever you want to do right there. Or go back and look in a dictionary and see if you can find something that you can stump Scarlette with. But we're back. We're talking with Alvin Earnhardt, and we're talking with Scarlette. She's telling about all of her skills she's got in. Well, she might be telling some juicy stuff during high school. We don't know. Well, sorry about that, but we're back again. We're going to continue talking a little bit. We just had a glitch in our system. That never happens. No. Alvin.
Yes.
Earnhardt. Okay. Are you any kin to the Earnhardts in racing?
Like I tell everybody, Jerry, it is too far to claim, but I do anyway. It's way down the line. I think my dad and Dale Sr. were like 6 cousins, so it's way down the line. But I do claim them though.
Oh, well, that's good. You should claim them like that. Now, have you done any racing yourself besides? Have you done any street racing like when you was growing up?
Maybe some cops listening, but yes, I did my share of street racing.
Well, it's kind of it's statute of limitations.
Yeah.
But,
Those roads might not exist anymore anyway.
yeah. Did you win?
Well, no, but I had fun.
Yeah.
I had fun, and I won't call any names or anything, but I actually raced a guy one time that later become pretty high up in the sheriff's department.
Oh.
And he was on duty, but he outran me. But
Well,
it was fun.
yeah,
It was
It's
fun.
the good old boys.
Definitely.
well, back then that you get on the road like that, and you got to have some bragging rights. I know some friend of mine. We got in a race, and I thought that 427 I had was going to do with that automatic, and he had a Nova actually, and he had it built up, and all I seen was him go by.
As Jerry had asked me a while back when we did something with the GOP, would I ever run for mayor of whatever, my town, this town, county, whatever. And I was like, y'all don't want me to do that because I will boss hog it up for the parade. I will have you make my white car. What kind of car did Boss Hog drive?
He had a Cadillac, didn't he?
He was a Cadillac convertible.
Yeah, my little white suit, my little wave. I don't know if I'd get any work done, but I have that presentation down pat.
I think you'd be a better Daisy than a Boss Hog. You're more of Daisy.
Right, and I don't think Daisy ran for mayor or anything like
She
that.
was just in love with Enos.
Oh yes, that's for sure.
Right, and in Boss Hog, the one that the sheriff
Roscoe.
he was in a Andy Griffith episode.
Yes,
Playing the guitar. He was the one that Andy arrested and let him play for the band there. He had locked up just to hear him play, and but he played in the Andy Griffith episode.
I didn't know that.
That was right before he got involved with the Dukes of Hazzard.
He was a good actor. He played in a lot of old westerns too.
He did.
Sure did.
Now, I wonder how many cars they went through.
Wow. A lot.
Wouldn't you like to have some of those?
Yes, I sure would, Jerry. I really would. I wish I knew the numbers, but I had heard that they had destroyed hundreds of 69 Chargers for the General Lee. And there's supposed to be like 12 original show cars still in existence.
We had our picture made in front of the General Lee when we were younger, me and my brother and sister.
Yes.
I remember that.
Seemed like one of the original ones that went on auction, the auction they have out in Las Vegas, it was supposed to have been one that didn't wreck.
Right.
And someone had bought it, and it went way up there in dollars.
Yes.
And so that's out of my taste. But you could build one, though.
If I had one to build, I sure would.
Now, I want to show this. I want to show you your Impala. Now, this is a 63?
62.
62?
Hard top.
And now you built that from ground up?
I did. And I've got to put a plug in for my wife over there. If it hadn't have been for Kelly, I wouldn't have been able to do it. She funded a lot of that project, and she gave me the money to buy the AC and everything for it. If it hadn't been for her, it wouldn't have been the car it turned out to be. Because I got to give Kelly credit on that.
Well, Kelly, you get to ride in it, right? Get to drive it?
Is it automatic or is it got gears like right there at the steering wheel like some of them do?
It's automatic.
It's automatic?
Automatic on the column.
But right there.
Yep.
Yeah. So Kelly doesn't drive it at all?
Well, I sold it.
Oh.
It's in Florida. Or last time I heard it was in Florida anyway. I sold it to build a 32 Ford Coupe.
Oh, wow.
Well, you know, the one of the things that I wish they would bring back, flick things here, is, you know, they put the dimmer switch back then was in the floorboard.
Yes.
And now it's up here, and to me, I kind of glance, automatic glance when I'm doing this right here, and to me it was safer in the floorboard,
Yeah.
and just use your foot, just blink, 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 you know. And I wish they'd bring it back and put it in the floor and leave it there.
Me too, Jerry. Kelly have vouched for me. I complain about that all the time. I complain about that. It's supposed to be in the floor.
Right.
It needs
So
to
I
be.
never knew anything like that being in the floor.
Yeah, it was in the floor like that, and just you have your foot over there because you know driving an automatic or whatever like that. You got your foot laying over there, and car come up, you just click like this. But now you might even click and go the wrong way, and somebody think you're flashing them. You know.
I'll hit something every now and then in the back windshield wipers. I go
Oh, I've done that before.
a lot of times, and then I've had the emergency things going on before, and like I've had a lot of stuff going on at one time in my car, but that's I'm fine with that. It just aggravates other people, I guess.
But when I rebuild that car for you and put a Chevrolet engine, we can put your dimmer in the floor.
That's right. That Volvo is going on site.
And kind of look like you have to put the windshield wipers, big knob for the ground.
Right now, I need 2 side mirrors because they've both gone black, and then the reservoir for the windshield wiper fluid.
Wait a
I
minute.
need that.
Your mirrors went what?
They went black. So, well, apparently, I had the bells and whistles on this car, and the right and left mirrors were heated mirrors. And I didn't know that. So apparently, the heat switch has stayed on the last couple of years since I've had the car.
Oh.
And so the mirrors, I guess the glue, I guess they fell off. My son-in-law's going to fix that for me. He works over at David Sinclair's.
Yeah.
So he says he's going to fix it for me, but he couldn't do the radiator either. So, you know, y'all
Well,
professionals. I don't know about y'all. I'm going to have to go across the tracks and get the Rugrats to fix my car. Y'all professionals.
David Sinclair's a real good friend of mine. I'm going to go over there, and we're going to point out your brother. We're going to call him out.
Just call them all out. Just, as long as I can drive. But, you know, working in Jonesville, it's not hard if I have to get a ride.
Yep.
Like, I'm at that point in my life where my home and my car are both paid for. But, like, I mean, they might not be big and fancy, but they're paid for. And I'm way, you know, under budget on my bills. And I could just get a ride to the grocery store once a week and stay at home if I had
Well,
to.
just think, you're going to have a classic car one day.
That's true.
I am. He said he might not can fix with original parts, but we could use the body and rebuild something. So I could actually have the muscle car
Yep.
stuff on in the body of the station wagon.
Low rider.
That's right.
Yes, I like the way you think, Jerry. We break real low, definitely.
Yeah, we can put the little things around the edge of your inside your car. It's got the little hang, almost like curtain rod things hanging around. And
Oh, yeah.
Right now the upholstery's falling too, but no, I'm driving this thing until it dies.
a little hula
Hold
girl
on.
on the dash. It goes back and forth. Now, speaking of body works and chassis like that, and I was kind of blew away about this. You know, you're working on an old truck right now.
Right.
And it's a 1948.
48.
And I seen, I don't have a picture of it now because I couldn't get the graphic to work right, but it's just a cab there, but you have a frame there, and that frame coming from a S10 pickup.
That's correct. It did.
And tell us a little bit about that, because most people will think, well, you got to go find a frame, the original frame like that, but there's a workaround.
Yes, those old trucks had, straight front axles. They did not have the independent front suspension.
Right.
And, if you want to put it back original, that's great. But if you want to get out there and really drive this thing every day and have a good smooth ride, you can go with a Chevy S10 chassis. If you get a anywhere from an 82 to 2004 S10 regular cab long bed, the chassis works great. There's a company out there. See, now I cheat a little bit. You can make the brackets from scratch yourself and make it all work. But to save my customers money, That's a lot of labor. You start making brackets and mounts. But to save my customers money, I use a prefab kit. I ordered this kit as a company called 504 Engineering out in Kansas. And you can buy a kit for about $1,400, and that's a whole lot cheaper than by the time you know how to make it all yourself. And it's a great kit, and it adapts that classic truck body, you know, the cab and the frame, front end, everything, to the STN chassis. Now you got to modify the chassis heavily. You end up replacing all the cross members in it, and you cut off all of the original mounts and you use their mounts. You cut off the shock mounts, you use their shock mounts, their engine mounts. You cut all that off the frame. And matter of fact, that's going to be my job for Wednesday, is painting that frame. I'm going to get it ready tomorrow and paint the frame.
So you've got to have some skills in welding too.
Well, this is actually a bolt-on kit.
Oh, okay.
This here, that's actually a bolt-on kit, but it uses good heavy-duty components. This kit is actually better quality than the original frame. It's thicker steel, and it's just very well engineered.
I seen the cab there. You have the bed part of it also?
Yes. I didn't get a picture. I'm a little cramped for space, so I've got the bed up on its nose up against the wall. It's standing straight up against the wall.
Okay, and what kind of bed would you put in it? You put a metal or wood?
Wood. My customer wants wood. The one I done for the last customer, he wanted that composite type material, but this customer wants the like oak, stained oak. Mm-hmm. He wants the wood, so we're going back with wood. I do what the customer wants.
Yeah, would it be treated wood?
Yes, it actually be. You can actually buy it and do it yourself, or you can buy a kit that's already pre-treated, pre-stained, whatnot, ready to go. I got to talk with him on that and see what direction he wants to go in. If he wants to stain it, or me to stain it for him, or buy it pre-stained or whatnot.
Well, I know the composite wood is very durable. Yes. That's what we put in on our porch out here, is the composite, and it's heavy.
Yes, that's why Neil wanted to use it. It'll be there from now on.
Right, and but the oak will look pretty stained, and I've seen some trucks in there that had the wood bed in it that really look sharp. Have you ever worked on one that remember the car they called the Woody?
Oh yes, I remember the Woodies.
And have you ever had a chance to work on one of them, or?
Never have, Jerry. I've never had the pleasure of working on one. I would like to. Yeah. But I've never got to work on one.
Because they had real wood on the side.
Yes.
I'll need to see a picture of something like that. I mean, I've heard that, but I don't know what y'all talking about.
Well, watch an Elvis movie.
Yeah.
Elvis.
Or what was the Anne Funicello or something like that?
Annette Funicello. Yes.
Yeah, Annette Funicello, yes. The beach movies.
Yes. And so they'll have, is it a truck or a car?
It's kind of like a station wagon in a way.
So I'm going to love it.
Oh, yeah, they were cool.
I'm going to love it. Okay.
Yeah. They were popular with the surfers.
Yes.
They were cool.
Yep. And it was excellent. And so that's one of the things about the classics back then, that they made some newer cars, but it has the, matter of fact, the PT Cruiser they come out with, it had looked like artificial wood grain that would fade or peel.
Yep. Every now and again, I still see one running around. I've got a PT Cruiser that I drive, but mine doesn't have the wood grain.
Yeah. I just thought, well, they went back to that, but they didn't use real wood.
Now, the Volkswagens, when we were growing up, we called them doodle bugs or punch bugs, where you punch each other. Now, those are older cars now, too, with the tinier wheels.
Yes.
Now, have you worked on one of those?
I never have, Scarlette. It's funny. I grew up around them because my cousins always had them, but I never got to work on one. I was a kid when they would work on them. I watched them.
I remember watching the movie Herbie. Wasn't it Herbie?
Oh, yes, Herbie.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, what kind of car was in the Knight Rider kit?
Oh, that was a Pontiac Trans Am, about 83, 84 model, something like that. It was cool.
Yeah, and then I had a Trans Am that was pretty neat. Mine was like Smokey the Bandit.
Yes, I love that body style.
Yes, but you could not keep them doors lined up. It's so heavy.
They were heavy.
Yeah.
They weighed more than a Honda.
They did.
Honda's weigh. I want a convertible. Can we make the Volvo convertible?
We can do it. I got a sawzall.
Yeah. Put an umbrella up.
That's right. You ready to cruise?
Yeah. I mean, I do. I adore my car. If it was a convertible, that would just be awesome. I just feel like they need to make that like that.
Well, I think they need to on the new trucks, because they got the extra seat in the back and all that right there. I haven't seen a convertible one.
I don't think I have. These are, I don't believe.
Y'all might need to invent something.
I think they would sell quite a few of those because, guys riding in a truck like that, they roll the windows down and stuff, so if you got a cool truck.
Yeah.
And just think if the top came down.
That would be neat.
Yeah.
That would be really cool right there.
And some of these vehicles, they got jacked up in the front, which I don't like because I've seen them jacked up in the back, which is cool. We used to do that years ago, put the extra spring, jack them up, and they jack them in the front now, especially at night with the lights blinding you, and they can't see in front of them. So I think McMaster just signed it into law this past week that's against the law. I think it's the first ticket is $100, second is $200, third time is $300 plus you lose your license for a year.
Yep.
I think
So
North
you
Carolina's
can't
already
make them slanted anymore, or?
not straight up, not in the front, where they got them jacked up in the front because you can't really see over.
And what makes these cars bounce? That they've, they bounce.
Are you talking about the low riders where they?
I mean, I would be so car sick. Like I can't ride in the back seat now. There's no way.
Hydraulics are bad shocks.
Wow.
Exactly.
But you know what I don't see anymore of that we used to see when we were younger is the backfiring.
I know that used to be so
Like
popular.
that was insane because it was
Yes.
so funny when somebody's car would backfire.
Oh yes, you
So
could.
I drove a truck for Moore's Building Supply many years ago, and the truck we had, I'd be going down the hill, and I'm in my 20s, and see somebody walking, I'd cut the engine off.
And you do it on
And then get up
purpose.
like that, and they go, kaboom! Oh man, they would fall out and gestures at me and everything else like that. But it was so funny.
We had a school bus driver who used to do that.
Yeah, but it was funny to do it.
No, we used to love it. We'd love it when somebody's car backfired. It was just hilarious. Mine never did, though. My car was all right.
Well, see, now, even with the mufflers and things, back then we used glass packs and stuff like that that made the car louder and sounded good. And even with the engines, with the lope and things, they
yes.
sounded great. Now, it's just like fake,
I know.
Well, the electric
Tin
cars are
can.
going to have the speakers where you can mash the button and rum it up like that.
Oh, yeah, that really, yeah.
I'm gonna still clear up. I'm gonna stay clear of those there. I'm sorry.
No. And then they got these, I call them buzz saws, you stick in the back there and make them real loud like that.
Oh,
To me, that just sounds horrible.
We got a neighbor at Franklin that's got one of those.
Yeah, and it's just not to me, it's not, it just doesn't sound good, even with the newer ones like that.
Now, what was the car that I drove at the beauty shop that they were taking pictures? That Paul Black had.
That
what was
was
that car?
an early '70s Volkswagen Carmagia.
Oh, yeah.
That was a Volkswagen. It was
Yes,
convertible.
It was.
Yeah.
That's a cool car. I should have put that picture. I should have sent you that picture. I made a good
No,
picture.
not with me in it.
Scarlette. Yeah, but you
No.
made the whole picture beautiful, Scarlette.
It was after the day was over. I was hot. I'd been cutting hair all day. I was sweating. I was just like,
Yeah, Carmagia was a neat car.
Yes,
and
very
also the Corvair with the engine in the back.
Oh yeah, my dad had one of those.
Yeah, they didn't run too well. But
No,
a little rain come up. It's like the MG, if the rain come up, they would die out.
Yes, they were known to be lemons for sure.
Yeah, and but it was they were pretty cool looking cars though, and of course I know you're not going to remember this, Scarlette. That's the changing the gears to push button gears.
no. I mean, I think the earliest I remember was a Pinto, and it was kind of like a station wagon, right? Pinto,
Some-
the
some of them
Nova,
were.
and the Mercury. That's
Hatchback.
like the earliest that I remember. Now, my grandmother had an Oldsmobile, and it ran good, but like I always thought I would want a Buick because my aunt had one, but now, again, I love what I drive now, but 8-tracks. I remember 8-tracks.
Oh,
I
yes.
remember the very first car phone Mama had was like in a bag, like a big box. Like we didn't know what that was. So
I remember those very well. I had one.
Well,
And
see,
beepers.
I had one in my car. That one, and the box was this big, sitting inside my car, and it's got like these buttons you would push, like line 1, line 2, line 3, and the whole mechanism was big as this right here that set my trunk. And and not everybody had it. And you get on line 1, you hear something like a party line, and then okay, I'll have to go to this channel here and press this button to where I can call out. So it's kind of like you only had like 6 channels there, and I think it's AT&T is what I had, but the mechanism actually had to fit my trunk.
Yeah, Mama's was kind of like that, and I remember it being in the front seat.
All right. Well, we've had a great time. It's getting close to that hour point right there. We just beside that little interruption and everything. We appreciate Alvin and Scarlette for y'all both coming out. We learned a lot of new things. I know I have, as far as me not working on cars, especially, and but.
And I can fix the dent now.
And you can fix a dent now.
Yeah.
So, and other people learn too, and also they know who you are like that. If they got an old car, it's something that maybe you can take a look at, bring it over, and you can be able to say, okay, we can do this and do that. And so you can tell, if you like, Alvin, tell where you're located and the number somebody can get a hold of you.
Okay. Like I say, my place is out there at West Springs off of it did into Furman Drive. But my number is 864-237-2116. Call it or text me. Probably it's a little easier to text probably, but if you call me and don't get me, just leave me a message and I'll give you a call back, and I'll be happy to look at anything for anybody that would look at. I'll be glad to.
All right. Well, we thank both of y'all for coming, and play a little Mustang Sally in the background. And next week we'll have another guest up here. We're going to let it be a surprise. You'll just be watching about Saturday or Sunday, and it'll be able to tell you exactly who it is. And we've got a lot of guests coming up in June, so stay tuned. I'm Jerry McKee with Prime Time, and thank you for watching, and hope to see you next week. Give us a call.